cameras are on you, you get little butterflies, and you need that adrenaline kick, I think.
And particularly if you're wearing bib number 1. So it's the 29-year-old Arndt Pfeiffer who's going to get this race underway, and there should be a good reception from the crowd. A majority German supporters here in Antholz, which is not unusual. We haven't seen a win from Arndt Pfeiffer since Oslo 2015, so it's getting on to 2 years since he last got a victory, and we will see if today is the day. 5th in the World Cup rankings. He's got the speed, he's consistent enough with the rifle, he's just got to put the two together today, and a really good performance could start to put pressure on the likes of Fourcard and the other big names starting later.
I think so, and Pfeiffer with a 3rd in the relay last week, 4th in the sprint and 5th in the pursuit. He is a man on form.
1-1-1-0, the shooting score for Birkeland in Östersund, where he finished 4th. That was on a windy day. The wind conditions are better at the moment, but we are expecting it to increase. It started to blow hard at 2:30 yesterday local time, and then it eased off after about an hour. We've got 108 starters, so 54 minutes before we get down to Canada's Max Davis, who's the last away.
Poor old Max. It's going to be a little colder, and it's been very cold in the valley last night. It was -21 last night.
Fionn Maillet, 18th in the World Cup standings. He was 12th last year. He'll want to start putting in some good performances.
It was 28th, just looking up Fionn Maillet's performance in Östersund. He skis fast. He does every time ski fast. Normally top 6 in terms of ski time, but it was his shooting which let him down in Östersund. He missed 5. Well, Benedict Dahl, he started biathlon when he was 7-year-old. It took him a full 10 years to get the perfect 0-0, and he would so much love to get all zeros today, and if he does, I believe with his ski speed he could actually win this race. His recent shooting performance though hasn't been at that kind of standard. Roof holding last week, missing 4 in the pursuit, missing 3 in the sprint.
Mickey Roche is next, comes from Zinwald, which I think there might be a couple of Zinwalds actually in Germany. One of them certainly is right on the Czech border. He races for Belgium now, as I'm sure you're aware. I wonder whether he considered racing for the Czech Republic, and the Czechs would have been a great team to join.
Well, they would have, and remember, he raced for what, 9 years? Wearing the German ski suit, and it was quite strange. He's still racing so well, you'd think he could still represent Germany right now.
But his comeback has really only materialised this year, hasn't it? I think he was disappointed with the way things were going, particularly in Oslo at the World Championships. Nothing was happening.
Very much so, and in Canada and the year before, and of course you have to take a year out when you change nationality.
Lukas Hofer for Italy. Now, has Lukas Hofer pulled out? It looks as though he has. No word of that over the headphones, so we'll try and catch up on the latest news there as we watch Rasta Gurjevs of Latvia preparing for the start. He's shown some impressive results over the years. His World Cup standing just about the same as it was last year. He finished last year in 20th. He's 22nd at the moment. He's another character that, if he shoots clear, is certainly capable of getting into the top 5. If he shoots clear today, that might be worth a podium finish.
Yes, just confirming it. It's Lukas Hofer not feeling well this morning. That's unusual. It looks to me as if he's the only one from the 108 that are not starting today.
Dominic Landertinger, as I mentioned, 3rd in the individual World Cup last year.
Remember the World Championships in Oslo. What he did that day was quite special.
Yeah, 2nd place. Shooting clear.
Shooting the perfect score. Not easy at a World Championships.
But still found himself 5 seconds behind Martin Fourcard, who had a minute penalty added on. One of the most impressive things that Fourcard has done this year, Mike, is when he's missed targets, he's made up for it, and he's generally been lucky with his draw. He's always been at the back end of Group 1, so he's had targets to aim at on that final loop, but he hasn't failed to deliver this year.
He's just unbelievable how consistent he is. What about Morovic?
Yeah,
3rd at the World Champs in an individual. It's always the big day, and the world second in Kontiolahti, sorry, third in Kontiolahti in this race.
Well, I wouldn't have my money on him simply because his shooting's not been consistent enough this year. Windisch, he's done pretty well. Local man, 27-year-old now. He did miss 8 in the individual in Östersund. That pushed him all the way down to 66th position. But Windisch has shown much better form since then. And we'll see whether training at Antholz makes it easier to race at Antholz.
And just racing at home. And what about Windisch on Sunday when he went from 43rd on the start sheet in the pursuit competition all the way up to 11th, and he only missed his last shot, hit the previous 19. 11 underway. Anev, he's been improving. Iliev, the other Bulgarian in the field, also been so consistent. Their strength used to be their shooting, and then they lifted their ski speed, the shooting dropped. And now, certainly for Iliev, his skiing and shooting together are at his highest level ever. It's been a long time since there have been podiums in the Bulgarian team in this race.
Clement Bauer hasn't made the top 10 in any race so far this year. He's definitely better than that. But again, you'd be nervous about putting money on him simply because his standing shooting isn't consistent. And today, with that 1 minute penalty added, Mike, it's, you know, very seldom do we see someone finish on the podium having missed more than 2 out of 20. So you're looking for a 90% hit rate.
That's right. I had a good look through certainly the last few years of individual races, the 20 kilometer, and at worst you can afford to miss 2, and that's on a windy day. So 13 Beatrix underway, and again fast skier, but a little worrying when it comes to the 4 shoots. Missed, what, 4 targets in Östersund in this race.
He only missed 1 in Sochi, finished in 6th place in the Olympic Games. Won, of course, by Martin Fourcard. Guzik for Poland. 70 and 75% hit rate in the shooting. There are quite a few athletes actually who hit more targets in the stand now. I think your lad Scott is one of them whose stats are better in the stand than in the prone.
Yes, there's not many. There's maybe, what, 5, 6, 7 at best in this men's field.
Johannes Tingisbo. An up and down season for him. He's wasn't that healthy after Christmas, so he's missed a couple of races. Good to see him back on the tour as we see Benedikt Dole going through the 2.6, 3.8 at second lead. Not surprised to see him leading at this stage. Long race, 20k, 5 times around the 4-kilometer loop. Tarjei Bo, the news isn't so good, Mike. He's got one of these strange viruses that the doctors can't quite seem to get their heads around. Every time he starts training, he feels awful. So he's pretty much doing nothing. Feet up at home, watching this race on the box. So we wish him well. We need him back.
I thought I'd heard he was coming back and that he had tried gentle training and it was successful before Christmas, but clearly not working. Remember how the form that he had in the summer up Lisebotten on the roller skis. He beat all of the Norwegian cross-country team. And I thought he was in magnificent form then, maybe overtraining.
Very distinct style, isn't it, from Benedikt Dole? It's somewhat asymmetrical. Well, it's an asymmetrical technique, but he does a lot of extension on that left leg.
He does, and but very, very strong and so rarely outside the top ski times.
Kaukanas for Lithuania. First of the Lithuanians away. Scott Gower, Canada will be next. The Canadians, I think, a bit disappointed with the way things have gone so far this year. We'd certainly expect to see at least 1, if not 2 Canadians in the top 30 of the rankings. But they've been struggling so far this season, maybe experimenting. I know the Americans and the Canadians, they like to experiment in the season before the Olympic Games, and then they come back with good form in the Olympic year. That, of course, is next year when we head to Pyeongchang, and you'll get all the action from Korea on Eurosport. Now, Pfeiffer just starting to settle himself. First of 5 loops. Almost completed, and it's at this stage you think, I've got to do that another 4 times.
It's quite brutal. So 4 kilometers, and I love the way he's not, I love the way he's brave coming into this range so fast. Everybody's saying, of course, compared to rope holding, the lack of oxygen up here, it plays a huge part. Shooting is all about managing your breathing, managing your heartbeat, and that's managing your recovery. And it takes so much longer up here. Let's see how he puts it together. As I said earlier, he has been shooting very well. That was almost dead center. Great start. And again. Oh, beautiful. No wind influence today. The fall of the shot is perfect.
A little bit high left with that last one, but otherwise a very good group from Arndt Pfeiffer. Just seemed to rush that last shot a little, Mike, but he's got away with it, and he goes out with a clear shoot, which is just what you want in this race.
Oh, what a great start. If you come out of the range after your first shoot, you've got 1 or 2 penalties. It's such a horrible feeling. It's a leaden weight around your body, effectively.
Now, if the men don't shoot better than the women today, than the women did yesterday, then something's wrong.
One tiny little mistake, and he's got a 1 minute thrown onto his time already. That's a difficult start for Biathlon. Bjorn Maillet, he's out of the 3 that have come in so far, he's taken the longest to release the first shot.
Only skiing 3.5 seconds slower than Benedikt Doll, though. So skiing well and then affording himself a little luxury coming into the shoot. Here's the double blinder of Benedikt Doll.
I think you're right. Statistically, the men today, we'd expect, what, 4 out of the 108 to shoot the perfect score, then a further, what, 15 up to 20 missing just 1 shot. But as the race goes on, that's when the mind, the fatigue in the mind, the concentration levels and the energy levels all begin to drop down, and shooting becomes that little bit more difficult.
Yeah, if we wind the clock back, 2007 actually, the World Championships held here in Antholz. 4-shot clear on that occasion. Of course, Raphael Poiret was clear, and that meant he won by quite a decent margin. 26 seconds, his win over Mickey Grice and Michael Schlesinger in 3rd place. That's really where we started to take notice of him and the Czech team.
Bad start for Rush. He did not expect that last shot to miss.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see exactly where that had gone.
He's 20 seconds, 18 seconds off the pace coming into the range. That's a tired athlete out there.
Well, possibly a tactical one. You know, often we see someone put in a fast first lap and then they fade on the final lap.
My take is that he had such great form in November, December. I think he's on the way down at the moment, and this race will hurt him.
Johannes Tingesbo. My goodness. Wow. Wow, and you have to remember that Benedikt Doll has already gone through that stage. So Johannes Tinges is not hanging around. But Mike, since his comeback from illness in Oberhof, he has always been quick on the first loop, and then he's faded. So what we're interesting to see is whether he can keep that sort of pace going for 2, 3, surely not 5 loops.
He's ambitious. He doesn't know how to back off. Good to see Rastagojev's, although prone is his strength, standing is his weakness. And talking about Johannes Tingesbo, talking to the main newspaper in Norway, the NRK, he told them the other day that he's going to win not 1, not 2, not 3, 5 gold medals at the World Championships. You know, if anyone else said that, you would think, yeah, good one. But it's possible. It really is possible, I think.
So Landertinger has cleared the first 5 targets, and those Austrians that have come across the border, which is what? It's only about 10 kilometers to the north of the stadium, so they haven't got far to go. And of course, Martin Fourcard underway with Johannes Tinges and Benedikt Doll all on the tracks, Mike. Fourcard is going to get splits on the fastest men, and I wonder whether that's going to surprise him when he finds, and I'm expecting him to try and fight to stay with Johannes Tinges.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because that's an aggressive start from Johannes, and maybe he's done that to just make a statement. Well, you're right about Moravec. I expected him to hit 19 today. He's missed 2 in the first 5. Vindish at home, that's a whole new pressure for his performances.
Yeah, nightmare to miss shot number 1. 1 minute. What is that? 400, well, it's more than 400 meters on the tracks.
Well, we'd be looking, what, 450, 500 meters extra.
Simon Schemp starting a minute exactly behind Martin Fourcard, so we know who he'll get his splits off on his way round. Anef clears 5, makes it look easy, as he often does. The Bulgarian, 93% hit rate. He's just pushed that up to 93.5 for the season in the prone position, only 11.2 seconds off the lead. That will do nicely. And if he shoots clear 4 times, he's just going to creep up and up the result sheet. Good start.
Just looking from 10 that we've got, haven't exited the range. 6 perfect shoots, 3 have missed 1, and of course Morovitz has missed 2.
Lukas Bauer is already in position and gets his first target down. Jean-Guillaume Bethix just preparing as Uliana Bjorndalen. We said Simon Schemp has a good start number. Uliana Bjorndalen a minute behind Simon Schemp. He's in a great position. Don't forget, Bjorndalen did win an individual last year. He won in Östersund. Bethix, that's good shooting. 9:48 has gone though, so he's at least 10 seconds off the race leaders. Exactly 10 seconds off the race leaders.
Interesting. I wonder which Johannes Tingesbø we're going to see here. Are we going to see the fast shooting Johannes who can shoot in 21 seconds? Or is it a little more gathered, controlled Johannes? I think it will be the second option. Taking his time, getting his breathing back. But he's still 8 seconds faster than anybody else. Terrible start. That was low.
All that effort for nothing. That was in the middle. Most of those shots low, Mike. Is that a sights issue, or do you think that was just a result of the exertion?
I think it's the exertion, or it can indicate not quite a firm head pressure on the shooting stop.
Good start. Semenov, those stitches under his right eye. He's only had 1 clear shoot so far this season. That came in a sprint event, so he'll be relieved to get all 5 down. 6.4, that's not a bad start at all.
Just wondering if that was from his fall in rope holding, the bruising on his right side of his face. Semenov, I think for me, he's got an outsider's chance of a podium today, and doesn't ski the fastest, but on these 20Ks he can shoot well.
Savitsky from Rida in northeast Kazakhstan, right on the Russian border actually. Expensive mistake. He will know that 18 out of 20 is required to get anywhere near the top 5, particularly on a day like today. But often we see poor shooting here, even when there isn't any wind, Mike, and a lot of it's to do with the intensity, the heartbeat as they come in to shoot.
Oh, it's a huge issue, and as the race goes on, you feel it more. The discomfort, the lack of oxygen.
Well, there you see the standard 8 of the first 10, all with the clear shoot. 2 misses for Johannes Tingesbø, 2 misses for Andrei Morovitz, pretty much putting themselves out of the race at the very first shoot. Now, Martin Fourcard, what about the time? What are we predicting? 5:29, the fastest so far. Martin Fourcard starting number 28. Here he comes in the red and the yellow bib, indicating that he leads the overall World Cup. And of course, he leads the Discipline World Cup. 1.7 inside Johannes Tingis. He's been tempted. He swallowed the bait.
He's taken the challenge on, and he's programmed to be the best. Karanishev has often shown his good performances in the individual, but I think he's a better chaser, like in the pursuit competition.
Yeah, mass starts and pursuits seem to be where he excels. Often misses in the prone, in the individuals in particular. He missed 3 out of 10 in the last individual, as we watch Arndt Pfeiffer first to reach the range for the second shoot.
He just looks composed, I was going to say, as if he's going to get the 5 here, but he's missed the middle shot.
He certainly seems to have got his breathing under control. Mark Kirchner just checking the targets, and no doubt they'll get some information out to Pfeiffer. There's not a lot to be said about the standing shooters, there might.
In today's conditions?
No, from the coach to the athlete after the standing shoot.
Oh no, of course, no, nothing technical. It's not like as if the wind affects the fall of the shot, so generally the coaches don't mention adjustments in the standing, only in the prone. I'm really surprised at Arndt Pfeiffer there. His facial expressions were so relaxed. The weight through the rifle was almost perfect, so just a little flinch, I would say, through his trigger finger. And I love the way that Fiormaillet, he builds that left elbow into his hip bone. A lot of different people have different body shapes and sizes, and for some it's difficult to get the elbow onto the hip bone. Use the rib cage. It worked, and it worked well.
Fiormaillet with the 4th fastest time after the first shoot, and this is going to put him in the lead for now. Birkeland alongside him. Birkeland, well, they started 30 seconds apart, and the Norwegian down into 3rd position, 1:30 off the lead of Fiormaillet.
This is where Benedikt Dahl struggles. It's the stand position.
Well, I think he'll still be fairly relieved to get to the halfway stage with just 1 miss. 1958 though, and he would have been just a couple of seconds outside Fiormaillet. What's it going to be? 106.5 for Benedikt Dahl. Now, Lowell Bailey not having a bad season at all. 17th in the World Cup rankings. Very good in the prone position. He's still at 95% hit rate. I think that is the highest for the whole tour.
+8, that's interesting. He came into the range +18, so that was one of the fastest 5 shot releases we've seen.
Now it's about time Freddie Lindstrom just turned his form around. Generally misses in the stand.
He misses in the stand.
Well, generally misses in the 4-shoot races, often misses in the first standing shoot.
Very composed. He's certainly taking the longest time, I think, of anybody so far to build the position. Why not get comfortable? There's so much at stake for a miss.
30 seconds off the race leaders coming into the range for the first time.
He's so relaxed. The rifle was still hooked on or caught in his ski suit.
Now Fourcard quicker than Johannes Tingis at 2.9. And a 5-second lead over the Norwegian coming into the range. He wants this one. He wants this one badly. 6 years, remember, since Fourcard won here in Antholz. He's only got 1 victory on these tracks and a 9.6-second lead. The second prone, though, is the one that's caught him out on so many occasions this year and last year. So we've got another 4Ks for him to ski before we see how he gets on there.
He's a machine. He is absolutely brilliant. I did think that Fourcard today, though, was going to have 1 or 2 errors, maybe even 3 on the range, but it was a perfect start.
Landertinger, silver medal at the World Championships. 20 out of 20 might be good enough for gold here in Antholz. And 2020 still some way behind Fiormaillet, who's actually having a really good race out there. He started number 3 and looks as though he may well produce his best race of the year, but he's still got some way to go. 10 targets still to hit. Now, Simonchev, Mike, 5 of his last 6 races here in Antholz, he's won. That is some record.
That's a great record. He performs well at altitude, and he's always in good form at home in rope holding, and that's a little springboard for up here. His ski speed, though, into the range, just trying to get an update, 14.8 behind Fourcard.
Yeah, so he's really relying on mistakes from Fourcard, assuming that Fourcard can keep this pace going for all 5 laps.
This is good skiing from Benny Vega. Now, he does live at altitude, and maybe his body adapts a little more quickly up here. As usual, Anev, be it a windy day or a calm day, he always has that extra 250 grams at the end of his barrel. Didn't help him there in the stand.
No. If there's one discipline that Bjorndalen has struggled with over the years, it is the individual. He was so delighted to get a win in the individual in Östersund. You could see how much that meant to him. 19.3 off the leaders, but it's the shooting that counts at this stage. Chapulin shooting as if it's a sprint event. That was quick, but he's got a bit of time to make up coming into the range. Chapulin's 17.4 down, and he's gone out 8.6, so he's taken 9 seconds out of Fourcard on that first shoot. That's impressive.
That's really impressive. Without a doubt, Chapulin taking all the risk there, but sticking to his normal shooting routine. Beatrix, that's really taken his chance of a podium away, missing those 2 early.
Beatrix, good form in Oberhof, bad form in rope holding. What are we going to get here in Antholz? He's still got some way to go. Now, Johannes Tingesbo, he's not out of it, but having missed 2 on the first shoot, he needs to hit the last 50.
His ski pace relative to Pfeiffer has slowed down, so I think you're right. He started so aggressively, or was his spirit broken after missing 2?
That would go some way to mending it. That's a good standing shoot, no time wasted. Just took his time in preparation, but then went through in the same rhythm as we see all the time. Samuelsson, an exciting prospect for the Swedish team, just clearing, and Bo comes out 8th position after the second shoot, 2:03 behind, so he would have been right up there with Phil Maillet, just 3 seconds outside the Frenchman had he hit the first 5 targets. It's looking more and more like a clear shoot is going to win this race. Has Fourcard got enough in the tank to miss 1 and still out-ski the likes of Doll and Phil Maillet, should they go clear?
I think the way he started, the intent that he started his race, it certainly showed that he could match anybody. And that's the other aspect of Fourcard. If he has to find something on that last loop, he's the only man in the field who can turn it around by 15 seconds. But he doesn't have the final sprint. We saw him caught out there in Oberhof.
Yeah, he's lost a few gold medals in his time on the final 100 meters of a race.
Now, Iliev knows his prone shooting well, and his adjustment there, I think he adjusted anti-clockwise, so that he's thinking the wind is coming in from the right just a little. Well, it is, and it worked.
Savitsky just struggling with the 5th shot, rebuilds the position, and it pays off.
So Savitsky back out on track. Ski speed, he's somewhat 43 seconds off the fastest at the moment. Now Shvetkov, he normally provides good shooting over this race, the 20 kilometer. And he takes a little more time building that position, getting his breathing under control. Not quite as fast as his teammate Chapulin in the prone position. but it worked. As expected, he got the 5 down. Garanashev, remember, he missed 1 in the prone. He could go clear. We've seen Garanashev in the past missing 2 out of the first 5 and then go on to hit the next 15 shots. Good news for Canada. That's 10 out of 10 for Scott Gow. Just do that again and he'll give himself a top 15, I would say. Well, Pfeiffer already, that's 12 kilometers skied. And if he shoots like he did the first 5 in the prone, they were all almost dead center with 1 just off.
After the second shoot, Pfeiffer still lying in 5th position, but only 19 athletes have been through that stage so far. Well, that's very rapid once again. Eric Lesser coming in number 42. Lesser, of course, the silver medalist from the Olympic Games back in 2014, finished 7th in the World Championships, Lesser. So this is a format of racing that he's enjoyed a huge amount of success, but particularly at the majors.
Lesser was 21 seconds off the pace into the range, and then only 13 as he left the range.
Phil Maillet coming in 29.42, so even with 1 miss, well, in fact with 1 miss it's going to be quite close between himself and Pfeiffer. If he goes clear now, suddenly well, it's going to be very tight. 10 seconds to get to the line. He's shooting on lane number 5, so he might be just outside the leading time. Just 3 seconds, in fact, with Phil Maillet holds on to his lead. Pfeiffer in 2nd. Birkeland's gone out in 3rd, just 46 seconds. The leading 3 through the 3rd shoot have all missed 1 apiece with 5 targets remaining. Krishmar, his first ever podium in Ruhpolding last week. Can he keep that sort of form going? Clear on the first pro. 4 out of 4 so far. Hold the nerve.
Oh, good discipline. He realized he demanded oxygen. He paused and got his breathing under control.
Well, for many years, Mike, we've been critical, kindly critical of the American standing shooting. There's no doubt that Bailey and Dunkley in particular have shown huge improvement over the last 12 months.
I think they have, and if you've got a weakness, go away 9 months in the summer, 8 months in the summer preparation, work on it. And Low Bailey, I think he's had a sound season and potentially a challenger, I think, in Hochfilzen at the Worlds.
Now, the second shoot. Standing hasn't been an issue for Martin Fourcard this year, particularly the last 5. Oof. He is human. Well, the concentration for those last 4 was visible on the face of the World Cup leader as we watch Schlesinger. Oh, it's not going to be a repeat of his 2007 success. Silver medalist in the World Championships behind a Frenchman, Raphael Poiret.
Well, Michael this year has had difficulties. Normally it's just this first pro and he's missed 3s, he's missed 2s, and sadly for Czech Republic and Michael it's another 2 out of 5 in the first time in.
So the standings with 5 through the 3rd shoot: Phil Maillet, Pfeiffer, Dole, Birkeland, Rasta, Guriev. Mickey Rush has just gone through actually, but he's missed 3 already. After the second shoot, Martin Fourcard still leads despite in fact, no, I'm wrong. He's gone down a 6th position. Looking at the position coming into the range, he's gone down a 6th position after the second shoot. He's only 37 behind, but he has missed a target, and those ahead of him had all gone clear. Simon Schemp now, shoot number 2. Not as quick as we're used to seeing him on these tracks, but it's a long race, and there's a lot of time to be gained in the last 8 kilometres.
The spectators, it's all about Germany in the stands, and they know how well this man Schempp races at this place, at this venue.
Landertinger is exiting the range as well now. He's got Schempp for company. Those two will enjoy skiing together.
Now that's Tim Burke just heading out, silver medalist from 2013 in this event, and he's only 20 seconds off the pace.
Now, victories don't tend to come thick and fast, Mike, unless your name's Martin Fourcard. If you were to win here, do you think that would massively reduce your chances of winning in Hoffelsen in 2 weeks' time?
It's strange how that form going into, like Dorothy Vera last year, she won 2 of these events and came 8th at the World Champs.
Look who's gone clear after 2. Juliana Bjorndalen, one of the best standing shoots we've seen from him this season, and he's not going to be far off that lead of Theo Maillet. There'll be, 10 seconds maximum in it as he has to break to the right. The clock will stop 9.2, and Bjorndalen's in a position to podium certainly. But remember, so many of the big names have missed targets on that 3rd shoot in the prone position. No one been through 3 shoots and gotten clear so far.
Schepulin goes into the lead 10 seconds, nearly 11 seconds ahead of Theo Maillet, who'd shot clear to that stage.
That's after 2 shoots. So after 2, Schepulin, Theo Maillet, Semenov, Bjorndalen, Bailey and Landertinger, the top 6, with Krishmar of the Czech Republic in 7th place with 2 clears. So there you see the standings after 2 shoots. 8 kilometres skied, another 12 to go. Only 10 have been through the 3rd shoot so far. Schempp, Pfeiffer missing 1 apiece. Maybe we won't get our 4 clear shoots today. It's looking less and less likely when you consider that the big names are all going early on, Mike.
Well, they are. I think we'll get a few surprises in the field. I'll still stick with 4 perfect shoots. I know it's difficult here.
Now, we often talk about the advantage of living at altitude, those who live and train in Antholz, and of course the Swiss skiers tend to ski up at altitude. Do you think there's a massive difference between those who live at altitude and those who use altitude for training prior to a major championship?
I do, and over the years, those who are born and grew up at altitude, I think the only thing is they seem to adapt more quickly when they come back up to altitude, having been racing at lower altitudes. So the adaptation is just that little quicker. Johannes Tingis is struggling with his prone again, but he's taken a time out, got himself composed again, and it's worked. Could he still win this? Could he still podium? I think maybe he could, but he needs the next 5 standing.
He certainly needs the next 5 standing. Those of you wondering what the XL on his rifle, nothing to do with being an extra large rifle. It's all about the ammunition that he's been using. Semenov's gone 15 with 15. He's the first man to do so, and the time is fantastic. 42.8 inside, and I can tell from his reaction that Mr. Dixon knows exactly what the odds were on Semenov before the start of this race.
Well, I don't know, but but I always believe in him in a 20-kilometer. He hasn't been shooting well lately, but in 20 Ks he's got the strong mindset. Oh, Labe Lund's last shot.
And all the way down in 32nd position, but plenty of time to make up for that as we go back to Iliev.
Well, good news for British team Scott Dixon into 29th position after his prone shoot, and that's the start that you want in this race. Iliev, what has happened? Snow falling off the trees, blocking it. It's only 1 millimeter, that rear sight. And that's really given him some difficulty. He needs to unload his weapon. Oh, well, he's okay. He's unloaded it by pulling the... No, he hasn't. The bolt back. Well, that's a real pity. He's lost, what, 18, 19 seconds there.
Fully recovered, no problem in putting the targets down.
Now, what I've seen there, he didn't put the rear snow cover down, so what's happened, skiing around, snow is falling off the trees, blocked his rear sight, cost him 18 seconds.
Unless, of course, he took a fall.
Maybe he took, but he didn't. I don't think
it didn't look as though he had, but you know, these Lycra suits don't hold much snow, don't give away the evidence of a fall. Garanicek, one miss early on. He's made up for that with the last 12 targets all going down. So the Russian is going to be in the top 5. Is he scraping ahead? He does. Goes into 4th position. So it's starting to take shape now, expecting the winner to come out of the first 50 starters. Anton Balikov, a man we need to keep an eye on. Mikey started 47, and looking back to the first shoot, Svetkov has started well. He started number 40. He's in 2nd place after the first shoot. Eric Lesser went clear on the first shoot, started number 42. He's in 6th place at the moment as we watch his teammate Arne Pfeiffer miss one more. So 2 misses for Pfeiffer. And Tim Burke, actually, he's in 16th position after the first shoot, having started number 50. None of those starting after 40. There are only 3 who started after 40 who've made the top 15 after the first shoot.
Yes, it seems like the coaches, and look how the sun now is dropping, it's slowly moving down the range, and that is the same on the track, so there's less fast snow at minus 8, 9 at the moment.
5 really important shots for Fionn Maillet. He missed one in the last standing shoot in Östersund, the last of the individuals, and I think it was the first shot. '19th in the World Championships, but again, he hit 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5, and suddenly what looked like being his best performance of the season turns into an average one.
He always appears just that little bit anxious. It's as if he's, when he's shooting, he's thinking, I'm burning up time here, I've got to rush this thing, and that never helps when you're on the stand shoot last time.
Now, we've often said the last 5 targets are the hardest to hit, Mike, but do all the athletes come in with that frame of mind? Did you manage to persuade yourself that they are actually exactly the same size?
As my father told me one time, what's the problem? You can hit 1 target. And I said, yeah. He said, wait, just do it 100 times, just do it 20. And I used to just identify that one. I tried to keep it to 1 moment. And boy, I was tested at one Olympics where, yeah, hit the first 15, going into the last stand, you really feel it. And you really have to isolate it to just routine.
Benedict Doll, slight improvement on the shooting from Fionn Maillet, and Krishma, he's on form, he's on real form. Look at that, 15 out of 15, and he's not going to match Semenov. Fionn Maillet's time is bettered, so Krishma, is he going to get his 2nd podium? Well, that would be an extraordinary turn in form from him as we watch Lowell Bailey, another man who's clear after the first 2 shoots. Surely this is going down. It does.
Beautiful. Absolutely. He looks just so controlled, Lowell, at the moment. I hope he can keep hold of that feeling for the final shoot.
Now, Fourcard is under a bit of pressure. He's not going to match Semenov, but if he hits the remaining 10, he can still challenge Semenov with his superior ski speed. The day is not lost yet, and he knows it. One more miss, though, and there it is. There it is. That could be the one that costs him the victory here. Semenov, don't forget, has got to go through his final shoot. And of the 4 men who have been through that final shoot, no one has hit 20. We've got Birkeland leading. Having missed early on, Birkeland's cleared the remaining shot, so he leads Pfeiffer by 10 seconds. That will be a good sprint to the line. Doll in 3rd. Fionn Maillet, having missed 2 on that last shoot, dropping down to 4th.
There was a little tangle as Fourcard came out of the range, a little tangled up with Babikov. Fourcard came off better.
Surprise, surprise. He's a big man, and actually before the race you were saying you think that one of the reasons he hasn't done so well in Antholz in the past is his size, his weight.
I think so. When the body's tired and you demand more oxygen, and I think that's why he's only had 1 win from 17 outings here at this venue. Fourcard, it's his worst, statistically his worst venue, and as it's mentioned, all the races then coming up here, he does seem to struggle a little.
Freddie Lindstrom goes into 7th place. He's only 59 off the leaders after his 3rd shoot. Landertinger. Best he can do now is 18 out of 20. Simon Schemp back on the range for his third shoot. Schemp after 2. Having to go a long way down. He's down in 12th after 2 shoots.
Well, this is what you call a meltdown last time in, missing 3-0-0-1-3.
He sure doesn't want to be thinking of that in 2.5 weeks' time. First race at the World Championships, incidentally, the mixed relay on the Thursday. And,
Thursday the 9th.
Yeah, Thursday the 9th. Usually there's then a day off for the individuals to start, but we have the women's sprint on the Friday the 10th.
Yes, and then, of course, they get the 2 days off, the Monday and the Tuesday. That's normal routine, but yeah, I'm surprised they haven't built it in a day off in between the first couple of races. Bjorn Dahlen back in. Can you imagine, 21 years ago, his first ever win in World Cup racing, he hit 20 out of 20 then. Can he do the same 21 years later? And if he does, he'll probably get a win again.
Well, these are tracks that he's very familiar with. Done a lot of training. Lives in Obertilliach most of the time. He's probably got houses all over the world, but spends a lot of time in Austria and Italy in the summer months. Now, Schipulin.
Schipulin has actually caught 30 seconds back from Bjorn Dahlen, who started just behind him.
Both men missing their first shot. That was skiing together, was cost them. So that could be a very expensive miss from Schipulin. Bjorn Dahlen needing to make sure of the remainder. Generally, if he misses a target, he misses his chance of winning. But 19 out of 20 could be good enough for a top 5. So Schipulin comes out 28.5 behind. Mike, third shoot, we've got 4 men clear at the moment. 3 of them are in the podium position. Semenov, Bailey, Krujma. Shows the importance of shooting in this game.
That's why I love this race. I know we only have 3 of them nowadays. There used to be 6. But it does test the strong minds, the good shooting by athletes.
Betvik's trying to fill those lungs. This is where his teammate Phil Maillet threw away his chance of top 3. But he looks to be struggling. Someone Bout in the top right-hand corner of the screen. A miss from Clement. Oh, 2 more misses.
You just feel the spirit. You can just sense how much that is going to hurt him. 1-1-1-2. 5 penalties, 5 minutes added onto his time in total.
Johannes Tingesbo is the next of the big names to come in for his final shoot. Don't forget, Bo missed 2 on the first prone. He took a lot more care over the second prone shoot, and he cleared his second and third shoot. So he needs a repeat performance of that, and then he's back in the running. Well, just look at his position. Johannes Tingis, after shoot number 3, Mike.
After shooting 3, he was down in 19th.
19th position, 2:12 off the lead.
And into the range this time, his skiing has dropped off. He started fast, but he's losing pace now.
Yeah, so yet to get his best form back. Lovely. Lovely, that's fantastic shooting, a real confidence booster, and no doubt they'll have a look at the replay of that first shoot just to work out where it went wrong. Is Semenov going to be the first to clear all 20? Oh, he misses the final shot, and that puts him up to 41-44. He's still going inside Anef's time, but Mike, that could be a possible win thrown away. 13.4 his lead. Who's to say he's not going to win? But Semenov has seriously damaged his chances.
He really has. Had he taken that shot, there are others who might hit the full 20, but today I thought was his day, and he blew it on that 1 shot missed.
Semenov, number 16. Great strength shown from Benedict Dull. And Pfeiffer's time 49.26. He's going to be very close. I thought those two were going to have a battle to the line, and although he's outside, I wouldn't put it past him. He is covering the ground considerably quicker than we saw from Arndt Pfeiffer, and I think that's who he's getting his splits off. But 8 seconds is still a massive margin in a K&a-half.
The thing with Benedikt Dahl, he'll fight to that last millimetre towards the line. Can he take 8 seconds? I'm not sure he can.
Well, he was, what was he, 14, 15 seconds behind Pfeiffer at the start of that final lap. So maybe he's just started his charge a little bit too late. After 4 shoots, Semenov leads. Anev of Bulgaria in second. Birkeland of Norway really came from nowhere. Started number 2, missed one on that first shoot. He cleared the remaining 15, and so Birkeland finds himself in 3rd position at the moment. Svetkov is certainly going to challenge after 2 shoots. He's lying in 5th, 22 seconds off the leaders, and everyone ahead of him has missed since then. Arndt Pfeiffer, first to start, first to finish, 52.08. That's a pretty quick time. The last World Cup was won in 56, 57 minutes. The World Championship title won by Poiré with 20 out of 20 was won in 56 minutes back in 2007. Now Svetkov, out he comes. He's up into 2nd place behind Semenov. He's only 15 seconds down on Semenov, but Semenov missed on the 4th shoot, so it's looking very, very good for Svetkov. Incidentally, while we're on the subject of the Russians, the McLaren report being discussed, I think it's tomorrow. There's an extraordinary meeting in the IBU
here, and all the athletes are invited as well, and I think it needs to be wide open, and the athletes need to give their opinions.
Great finish from Scott Gow, hitting 5 out of 5 in the stand as Fillon Maillet threw his chance away on that last shoot. 58 seconds down, would have been a comfortable lead.
Well, fastest ski time by 2 seconds.
Now, has Benedikt Dahl been able to pull back some of the time that he lost on Arndt Pfeiffer? 8 seconds he had to gain. He's got one more corner to go. 52.08. He's not going to make it. It will take some 8-9 seconds once he's rounded the final bend. So we're looking at a time of 52.15, there or thereabouts for Benedikt Dahl. And that is going to put him into 2nd place. Germany, 1 and 2 at the moment.
Well, he dropped 2. I thought the fight that this man has, I thought he might close that down to 4 seconds deficit, but it went the other way. Exhausted.
And incidentally, missing the same number of targets as Arndt Pfeiffer. Here comes Birkeland, who's just strolling across the line. Has he lost a lot of time on that last loop?
He's lost form. I mean, we saw it on Sunday in the pursuit. He only missed 3, and he dropped way back down the rankings in the pursuit, so his form has dropped. Yeah,
Birkeland had a 10-second lead on Pfeiffer after shoot number 4. So he's lost 35 seconds on that last 4K.
Huge amount of time to lose.
Krishma, a 2nd podium over his career. Almost a certainty should these 5 go down.
It's so strange. The brain just can't stop but getting in the way. You can see he's tense. He's now going to struggle on this last one. Good man.
Well, he limits the damage, but that will hurt over the next 4K. He'll be thinking about that 3rd shot that went wide. Anev still pushing. Bjorndalen, we've just seen, he's missed the target. Lowell Bailey misses on his final shoot as well. So 4 out of 5 makes it 19 out of 20. Not bad, 95% hit rate. Again, Mike, his prone shoot has been so good this year. Martin Fourcard coming out of the range. 0-1-1-0. You expect nothing less. And guess what? He's back into the lead ahead of Semenov. It could still be his day. It's quite staggering. Absolutely amazing. And that last shoot's so important, Mike.
He is absolutely amazing. I wish we'd seen that shot to look at his facial expressions, but he has won 11 from his last 13 starts in this 20 kilometer races. 3 World Championships, won Olympic Games in this event. He's the master, the master of biathlon. When you can master the 20 kilometer and you can ski fast, the world is yours in biathlon.
12 times this year. In fact, that makes it 13. He has cleared the last 5 in the stand position. No one else is anywhere near that performance.
It's outstanding. What surprises me, from 21 starts in the 20 kilometer, Fourcard has only shot the perfect score twice.
Landertinger take away those 3 misses, and he would have had a 24-second lead. Now, Simon Schemp, 41.49, the time he's after. Well, this could be close. Remember, he's won 5 of the last 6 here. He's not going to win this one.
Isn't that amazing? He needed 5 for the victory.
Did he know that? Probably.
Yep.
You don't need to know it, Mike. It doesn't make you want those last 5 anymore.
Well, you still have to be able to deal with it. Sednev was his teammate who won here, last time we did a 20 kilometer in this venue.
Yeah, 2010. 54 minutes his winning time.
Shemenov, he knows that Fourcard has pushed him. Or he's been told now. Well, Fourcard had 2.8 seconds lead. He's going to turn that around to, at this point, probably 14 seconds.
Well, it doesn't matter how many times you write off Martin Fourcard. You should never do it until he's completed the course. If he doesn't shoot himself back into the race, he will ski himself back into the race. He's done both today. Anton Shapulin clears his last 5. Shapulin, after the 3rd shoot, was lying in 5th position, so he's got a 19 out of 20, Shapulin. Now, normally, that would put him into top spot, and it has done. So, 44 seconds, and Martin Fourcard needs that information, and he needs it quick, because he's going to run out of space in terms of making up that sort of a deficit.
It would be a miracle, Patrick, but Fourcard will try and do some damage.
Svetkov is the next man who might challenge the leader. Certainly Shapulin will be aware that his teammate Svetkov has had a flyer so far. There was a margin of 13 seconds between Svetkov and Shapulin after the 3rd shoot. We'll try and pick them up on a split time coming into the range. Svetkov started number 40, so he's still got a minute or so before he shoots for the final time. Beatrix of France, 54.01, 2:07 outside with 3 misses. And there are going to be so many athletes, Mike, who will look at the results and say, a clear shoot and the race would have been mine.
So many will analyse that tonight. The coaches will be analysing that already. But what about Bjorn Dahlen after his 4th shoot? So he's just got the final 4 kilometres, 4th place, 53 behind. And I think he could pull those 5 seconds back to catch Shemenov to make the podium. That would be outstanding.
Well, it would. I don't think I see it quite the same way as you, particularly because we've got Svetkov still to come. But Svetkov, this is going to be the most important shoot of his season. Starting number 40, I'll try and let you know exactly how his performances have been on the range. Well, he's got 93 and 85. Those are his percentages as we watch Johannes Tingis. Good comeback, Mike. Only 106 off the lead. He's got himself into 5th place. So, whoa!
Well, no matter what part of your body crosses that beam, it counts.
And it's not often that a fall takes time off. But I think he probably saved himself 0.1 with that dramatic dip across the line.
I didn't see what happened, but I assume he put his ski pole between his skis with nothing left in his body. And he'll be so regretting missing that one of the last 5, because the victory could so well have been his.
Yeah, I'm surprised someone hasn't gone to give him a hand. He could do with it. Lovelund, like Johannes Tingis, missing early.
just thinking, the way Labe Lund skis, with missing one, he could actually challenge Chapulin.
103 the margin coming out, and Chapulin was 28 behind, so he's not so far off Chapulin's time. But don't forget that Chapulin shot fast and clear on the final shoot, and it's Chapulin who is looking set for a victory, but it could be a Russian 1-2 because Svetkov has produced a blinder of a race so far. Even if Svetkov misses, he could still challenge for a top 5, and his final shoot will be coming up in a minute or so. So the drought goes on, Mike.
Antholz, it's a good performance today, though. He's not going to be the winner, but it'll be a podium.
Granichev, 49.9, so that's a good performance from him. No one across the line has hit all the targets. Semenov and Pfeiffer missing 1, 1 and 2 respectively. As we watch the man of the moment, this is a huge shoot for Maxim Svetkov. 25-year-old from Moscow, lying 9th in the World Cup standings. 85% hit rate in the stand. It's worth the wait. He's got 15 seconds in hand over Chapulin. Oh!
Last shot.
He misses the last, and he misses his chance of a win. Rico Gross can't quite believe it. Well, Mike, I thought when he delayed for shot number 4, I thought, right, he's got this under control. But then there was very little time between 4 and 5.
What happened there? He ran out of oxygen, he rebuilt, and it gave him thinking time, and I'm quite sure that's what happened. And then he just thought, take the last shot. He got nervous. And
even with a hit, he would be 7, 8 seconds behind Chapulin. Scott Gow, Canada, coming into the finish. Very good shooting from Scott Gow today, 19 out of 20. As we just see Eric Lesser on his final shoot. Eric Lesser after the 3rd shoot. Can't see him. He was down in 22nd position, I think, with 2 misses. So that's another one. 3 misses in all for Lesser today. And Mike, I think we were discussing yesterday the likely winners, and the first 2 names to come up were Schemp and Chapulin. Schemp hasn't done it. Chapulin looks as though he may have produced his race of the season.
Yes, when Chapulin missing just 1 target, and the way he's skiing, the way we saw him ski in rook holding, especially in the pursuit, he made so many places. And he shot, I think Chapulin shot faster than anybody today. It's not taking risk, it's sticking to his routine, and it's worked for him.
And he's still got 41 seconds in hand over Martin Fourcard. Martin Fourcard was 44 seconds behind after the shoot, so he's gained 3 on this final loop. Now there you see the that's fall of shot.
That's good information. I think that must be Sukuk going later for the Czech Republic. It is.
Mikko Kresmar, well, he's into the home straight now, and he's absolutely blasting down the last 50 meters. A podium is still a very distinct possibility. 51.34 he was after, can't quite match that. He goes 3rd for now, but with Fourcard just about to finish, and of course Anton Chapulin on the final lap, he's going to be pushed down to 5th, but that's not a bad run at all. Fourcard 15.8 ahead of Semenov, despite the fact that he misses 2, but today it is not enough. He fails to make it win number 11 for the season, but he's going to be back on the podium, Mike. That will be 13 out of 14 races he's been on the podium this year.
You could never predict that. It's just the odds of that happening are quite amazing, and it just shows Fourcard's strength.
And I think he equals Raphael Poiret's, should he end up on the podium, which we think he will do. A word for Bailey of USA. That's another fine performance from him.
That's good news for the American team, for Lowell, heading in towards the World Championships. Just that final 5 shots, just a little bit of mind training, and he could have taken that victory today.
Any one of the top 8 at the moment who'd shot clear would have had the lead in the race.
Can he afford to back off? There are still some big names. Labe Lund, if he shoots the final 5, it's unlikely at what, a 72% hit rate prior to this race. But Labe Lund's having an inspired day.
Here comes Simon Schemp, 18 out of 20. He didn't start fast as he managed to pick the pace up in the latter stages. He's going just behind Anef, and Schemp goes into 3rd position for now. Sorry, just ahead of Anef by 6 seconds. But not a special day for Simon Schemp. I think we saw signs that he was tired on the very first lap, Mike.
It certainly looked that way.
Lindstrom just finishing. Lindstrom has gone into 14th place, 2:39 off the leaders. Here's the man who we think is going to take the lead. No incidents so far on the final lap. One little climb before he crosses under the road and into the stadium. Another 450, 500 meters to go for Anton Shapulin. And surely that time of 51:19 is going to be well beaten. Is he going to be the only man under 51 minutes today? Here he comes.
Almost a perfect race, Patrick. He set an aggressive first lap, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th lap. Hit 19. I thought he might need 20 today to take the title. He can afford to miss one.
Well, he deserves a win. He's had 4 podium finishes so far this season. He got on the podium in Pachuca, was in very good form then. He carried that through to Nyoga Miesto. But today, Shapulin, with a time well under the 51 minutes, should be our race winner. 41 seconds the margin. Martin Fourcard, for once, is pushed down into 2nd place. And Shapulin will move up to 500 World Cup points, which is still going to leave him some 285 or so behind Martin Fourcard.
Incredible.
Bjorndalen, another fine performance, and he'll have a lot of fans here in Antholz-Anterselva. Have enjoyed his performance today. Take away that one miss, and he still wouldn't quite have done it, but he's had a very, very good last loop. Bjorndalen, 104 off the pace of the race winner. That could end up as a top 5. He's 4th at the moment. Well, there you see the standings at the finish here in Antholz. The men's 20-kilometre, Anton Shapulin is back on top. 19 out of 20, as you can see, none of the first 10. In fact, no one who's finished so far has managed to hit all 20 targets. We had, what, 5 clear after the third shoot. Oblak from Slovenia is just about the only man left who can still hit 20 out of 20. That will get him a top 25 position. his best of the season. Mickey Rush down there in 23rd with 3 misses. Clement Bauer, Mike, again loose with the rifle, 5 misses from him. Uliana Bjorndalen, good day out. I think he'll be relatively satisfied with that. He's always after perfection, so that one missed shot will annoy him. But in reality, top 4 at 43, not bad.
It's incredible, and especially the history here of Labe Lund. If he had taken all 5 here, it certainly would have challenged Schipulin. But sadly, it really is his weakness, especially the final stand, especially dealing with huge pressure. And when you can ski this fast, I would have thought sports psychologists, former biathletes, just talking through this, for the process that happens on that range, what happens to your mind, how to try and bury those thoughts. Doesn't take much to turn it around.
Here's another man who had a real chance to take the win. Svetkov hitting the first 15 targets.
I did think at the start of the day, if anybody can hit 20, it's Svetkov. He so nearly did. He missed it by about 1 millimeter, but he missed. One moment of weakness.
Well, it's a good effort from Svetkov. Simon Shempon, 51.47 will survive. Anef 51.53 is going to be okay, and Krishma on 52.07. Now this is going to be close, but I think it's going to go to Svetkov, who goes into 7th place, and Krishma of the Czech Republic still a top 10. I think he would have settled for that at the start of the day. So 128 behind, 28 behind. Had he hit all 20, would have got him 2nd position behind Anton Schipulin. Good day for the Russians.
A painful day, 20 kilometers, a rise, a total climb of 722 meters. It's a huge workout. Eric Lesser, this was his race at the Olympics, hitting, I think he hit all 20 that day for silver medal.
Yeah, Martin Fourcard on that occasion, I think, missing 1. Lesser hitting all 20. And then in the World Championships in Oslo last year, he hit 19 out of 20, finished down in 7th place. Schipulin, Fourcard, Shemenov, Bjorndalen, Schemp, the top 5 at the moment. Arndt Pfeiffer started early. I wonder whether he'd have liked a slightly later start. But sometimes in the individual, Mike, you want to clear your mind. You don't want to be caught up in chasing people down, because if there's one race where you have to race your own race, it's this one.
I think so, and you can't but be affected by what's happening when you're warming up in the stadium. I think you're right, going early is best. Shemenov will be so annoyed looking at this result. It would have been a victory hitting all 20. 3rd place though, at the moment, may not stay, but it's a great performance.
Martin Fourcard led when he came out of the range after the final shoot, but at that stage Anton Schipulin had not cleared his last 5 targets. Schipulin 50.38 to set the fastest time. Cracking race from him, and it sets us up for a very, very exciting mass start. Fourcard isn't going to let that one go easily, Mike. Having got here, do you think we're going to see anyone sit out the mass start and just save something for the Worlds?
I'm surprised we've seen so many of the big names taking part today, except Svensson, really. I think we will see some sitting out of the mass start. It's a very busy week up here on the back of two previous very busy racing weeks.
Yaroslav Sukup, I think it's fair to say he needs the remaining 10 targets to challenge the top 10.
Remember, his coach showed him the adjustments. He was shooting low right.
It was looking good.
looking very relaxed, composed. His breathing was under control. Slight movement of the flags from the left, but not a big deal. Should still have got it.
And 2:54 behind with those 2 misses, so he's slightly off the pace. His form has been intermittent this year. Now, Anton Babakov, one of very few men that's actually won a race this season. He won up in Östersund, winning the pursuit. But 4 misses from Babakov means that not only is he not going to win, but he's going to be, what, 4th in terms of the Russian performances today. Top 25 just for Anton Babakov.
I'm amazed, absolutely amazed we haven't seen the perfect shoot. Normally we get one person strong enough. There's 9 who have missed one target. Pleased to say Scott Dixon is one of those 9. Missed on his first standing, but got the previous 15. I'll hit the rest, the other 15.
And his current position?
Current position, 48th.
Lying in 48th, is that at the finish, or is he on his last loop now?
He's on his last loop.
On his last loop, so PB of 92nd this year, so 48th if he gets top 50. And I know he started the season saying, I just want to be in the top 60.
That's right. And top 60, when you look at that, 2:11 behind in sprint racing. That's the competitive bracket. If you're in that top 60, you can certainly challenge for top 30, and it works that way. I'm just looking at Martin Fourcard's worst ever performance in a 20-kilometer was an 80th. I know he backed off the ski pace when he missed 4 out of his first 5.
And at a guess, I'd say it was in Östersund.
It certainly was. Bjorn Dahlen's worst 20. He missed 12, and he finished 95th. Biggest winning margin as Vega shoots. Bjorn Dahlen I make it 2:36, and that was here at this venue. And Martin Fourcard's biggest winning margin, 2:06. Malishko could change things. Not anymore.
Even with a clear shoot, I think Malishko was going to struggle to match the speed of the Chapulins and the Fourcards. 19 out of 20 will have him right up there in terms of shooting performances. Still no one clear. Simon Dessieux over the line, makes the top 20 for now. The best of the French, obviously, Martin Fourcard in 2nd. You have to go all the way down to Fillon Maillet in 15th. Fillon Maillet actually skiing really well. Missed 2 on his last shoot, 2:28 off the leaders. But today, belonging to Anton Chapulin. Leitner for Germany, one of the later starters, 108 starters today, so 54 minutes to get everyone underway and onto the course here in Antholz. Semakov hitting 19 out of 20. The Ukrainians have shot very, very well today. Semenov, the best of them, missed shot number 18, otherwise all the targets went down. Simon Fourcard, 24th position, 3:43, so just starting to lose a little time. Scott Dixon coming across, actually Scott Dixon started 56. That's Henrik Labe Lund. Scott Dixon will be just a little way behind, but he's had a great run. Best shooting we've seen from Scott so far this season, so that's a turn up for the books. Still losing time on the tracks, but I think that will be encouraging, just what he needs before the Worlds.
It is. You need to feel good about your sport, and certainly a great feel-good factor. Only 9 shooting, 1 penalty, and to be one of that group, that's got to give some confidence.
Well, just looking down the previous results, Labe Lund was the last man who was going to get anywhere near challenging the top 5. And certainly after the 4th shoot, Svetkov, the highest or the later starter, who's sitting in the top 10 at the moment, having started number 40. He finished a long time ago. Shapulin, I think, can start to celebrate his first win ever in the individual discipline. That's a big landmark in his career, Mike. And of course, it's his first win of the season, but his 5th time on the podium.
And by my calculations, only the 2nd time he's made a podium. He's had a 3rd place in RuPoling last year in the individual, but he's had no other podium places, so a big turnaround. It's always his shooting that's let him down. Today he only missed 1.
Good day for Russia today. We don't know what the result of the extraordinary meeting tomorrow is going to be, but it could be a bad day for the Russians tomorrow. We will wait and see. We've got no inkling as to what's going to be heard. As you say, the meeting is open to the athletes, and they'll be discussing the findings of the McLaren report.
They will, and there's certainly been a lot of debate surrounding and a lot of evidence, well, alleged evidence so far as to what has happened, and it's all from, what, 3 years ago. It takes a long time to sort these things out.
Well, if something does come out of it, you know, we both think slightly differently on this front, but for me, I would like to see the rules rewritten, and when a country is involved in maybe 3, you can set the number like 2, 3 or 4 cases, then the whole team suffers, the whole team is punished, because it ceases to be an individual who's breaking the rules.
Yeah, I mean, I think what at the Paralympics this summer in Rio, I think what the governing body there said, no, we won't have any athletes from a certain nation at all taking part because it was right. And that sends a message out, don't do it or you won't compete. And I think that's the way it should be. Yes, mistakes can happen, you have to, and everyone's innocent until proven guilty. Nordgren, that was wonderful.
Yeah, good shooting from the American. And the best of the Americans again is Lowell Bailey, sitting in 10th position at the moment, 139, having hit 19 out of 20. And Tim Burke in 28th, so Tim should pull himself some World Cup points today. Nordgren with 18 hits out of 20. That's good shooting.
I think the discipline there, so 1-1, then 0-0. That's a strong way to end your race. And what about Johannes Tinges Bo? 2-0-0-0. And he shot faster each time. His old shooting was back. The first 5, his new shooting was there. Very careful, very slow. That's not his personality. I think just let it go. Let him shoot the way that works for him, and he did that the last 3.
Yeah, Johannes Tinges sitting in 14th place at the moment. He faded badly in the latter stages, but it seems he hasn't got his fitness quite back after that illness in Oberhof. We saw evidence of that in Ruhpolding, and nothing's changed over the last 4 days or so. So hopefully the 16 days between now and the World Championships will see Johannes Tinges Bo back on top form. You were saying, Mikey, he was promising 5 golds. Well, you've got to be positive, haven't you?
Well, you look at the 2 relays, the mixed relay and the team relay. That's potentially 2 gold for the Norwegians. So all he has to do is take another 3, which is a mountain to climb. And he needs to, as you said, he started so fast but tapered off. The enthusiasm's there, but his body hasn't recovered yet from his setback.
Yeah, best ever World Championship performances. Svensson in Nowe Miesto was fantastic.
4 gold, 1
Raphael Poiret in Oberhof back in 2004. That was outstanding as well.
This is good news for Sukup. Be annoyed with missing his last shot, second time in for the prone.
So 3 misses in all for Yaroslav, 34 years old now, so should be at the back of his career. I actually aged Bjorndal, and I thought he was 43 on the 17th of January. His birthday's actually on the 27th of January, so he's still 42 for now. He will be 43 when he goes to the World Championships.
A week today, he'll be 43. There is one older man racing, though. Bad start. Good middle visits to the range for Gierney.
Strong looking position.
There was a flinch, you could see it in the connection from his shoulder to the rifle. There was a tiny little movement, a preemption of the shot. I must say, I've mentioned before, the drills on the shooting range that the Ukrainian team go through are magnificent. No one's allowed to speak. They're not having much fun, but they're learning their shooting thoroughly.
Sean Doherty could be on his way to some World Cup points as well. I can't see him being pushed out of the top 40 now. 29th position at the moment, 4:41 behind. Still a couple more shots would have been very, very handy, but that's encouraging. He's not had much of the limelight with Bailey and Burke, the 2 strongest performers over recent years.
This will be Vega's best performance ever at World Cup, and they probably will buy him a journey to his own home country, World Championships.
It could well do. 19th position, Austria's best. Landertinger threw away his chance. Actually, Vega is the best of the Austrians today, sitting in 19th. We have to go below 35 to find anyone else who's challenging, so he'll be delighted with that. I remember when Simoneda had 1 race to qualify for the Worlds. Was that back in 2013? I think it might have been 2013.
Or 14 there, before Sochi. He had
just
to
before Sochi.
He had to get a top 8 here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Top 6.
Yeah.
Didn't pull the bolt far enough back. The brain often makes that mistake when it's tired. That broke his concentration massively.
Yeah, that might cost him his place in the individual race in the World Championships, Malishko. In terms of relays, Mike, we got a relay here for both men and women, obviously. Slightly different program with a relay and a mass start on Saturday and the same on the Sunday. Russia contenders for the relay title in Hogfelsen?
I think so, very much. You know, they're missing only, what, 5 targets there for 5 spare rounds. It does give them a chance. The Norwegians, of course, will be challenging the fastest skiing time, I'm sure. But the relay is so exciting, and of course Germany up there. Maybe Italy will come back.
Oblak started really well, and have a look at that shooting score. 0-0-0-0. Oblak has gone under the radar. He is the first man to go through without a single penalty today. Still 3:26 off the lead. It looks like a spent force, but he's got himself into 30th position, and those are his first World Cup points of the year. Well done to him.
Excuse me, well.
Welcome back to Antholz, a slow-mo of the race winner. Anton Shapulin makes his 9th World Cup win, his first in the individual, his first of this season, and that's 5 times he's been on the podium. He's in the top 3 of the World Cup standings, closes the gap down. In fact, he'll go ahead of Simon Schempp today and up into 2nd place in the overall, but still over 250 points behind Martin Fourcard, who has finished in 2nd place yet again. Great race from Shapulin, stayed strong, took advantage of the fact that he started 2 minutes behind Martin Fourcard. He knew exactly what he had to do, and he knew he needed the last 5 in the stand position to take the win. One of very, very few men to clear those last 5. Well, let's just have a quick look at the standings. Shapulin, Fourcard, Schempp off the top 3. Oleana Bjorndalen gets 4th place ahead of Simon Schempp of Germany. Well, great scenes and a fascinating race. Some missing early and then making up for it by clearing the rest. Many clearing the first 15, but then incapable of hitting the last 5.
It's a tough task, but Shapulin, that was so important for him to get his last 5, having missed 1 in the second throw-in.
Well, we start at the same time tomorrow, just after 1 o'clock. Hope you can join us for the relay and a mass start tomorrow. And we'll see whether Fourcard can get that 11th win of the season. Today, it was Shapulin who took the honours. The Russian, who always does well here in Antholz, has done it again.
Der Schwede, der sollte der 30er da reinkommen. Das ist auch schlimm, der ist noch da hinten.
Опоздал. Из пресс-центра нес 13 километров на высоте 1600. Гипоксия. Я ради этого выпил.